Hello and welcome to Friday's bonus edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where I get to actually crack, or try to crack, a cryptic crossword, the Times crossword, every Friday. Tends to be the hardest of the week. I haven't actually checked the snitch today, so let me click on stats and we'll have a look and see who we can see. So just scanning down this list, I think most of these people are typists rather than actually true solvers. The first name I recognise as genuine there is Jason James, 7 minutes 4, which is probably longer than Jason takes on average. Let's look at the top 100, see if we can see anything a bit more revealing there. Yeah, I mean, that's John McCabe in at 7 minutes 12. So John's been putting in some phenomenal times over the last couple of years. Sort of 3 minutes is almost an average time. So certainly this is harder than average. Tom Stubbs is a very good solver, 16 minutes. So yeah, we're going to be in for a battle, I suggest. Now, before I kick off today, I have got a couple of announcements to make. I want to shout out Nick, and we had a nice email from Nick who said that this week he managed to complete his first cryptic crossword. He found our videos about 6 months ago and has been watching every Friday since, and finished his first puzzle. Well done, Nick. That is absolutely brilliant to hear, and it just shows what's possible. And I suppose it shows these videos make a bit of a difference. So I was delighted to get that. And now I've also got a birthday, Laura. It's your birthday. Well, actually, it's your birthday on Sunday, but your mum Cheryl thought that you would like a shout out in this video, which I'm very happy to do. I hope you have a very good day on Sunday with chocolate cake. Oh, there's some sort of siren outside. I'm sorry if you can hear that. I think you and your mum live a couple of hours away from each other, but I understand you FaceTime every Saturday morning and discuss that week's crossword that you've sort of attempted separately. Which is lovely, absolutely lovely. And I know your mum Cheryl is hoping that your fiance Jack, Laura, sorts out the chocolate cake today. So I hope the chocolate cake is good. Many happy returns. And with that said and done, I get to play, or I get to try the cryptic crossword. Let's get the right one. Let's get cracking. And I will talk you through any thoughts as I have them. One across. Got up to make deliveries which may be under arrangement. Ugh. Whenever I see the word deliveries in a cryptic crossword clue, I always think about cricket, where a bowl, when the bowler bowls, that's often referred to as a delivery. So deliveries in the plural always makes me think of over, which is obviously 6 balls in an over in cricket. But got up to make deliveries which may be under arrangement. Got up to make. The only way, I don't know. I don't know. There might be something to do with over in this clue, but I can't work out how the clue is meant to be broken down, if that's true. Let's try one down. Does or does twist bolero often follows this? Whenever I see the word bolero, I always think of Torval and Dean. That's just my age. Bolero often follows this. What? I don't know. I really like that clue because I haven't got a clue. Because I haven't got a clue what it's talking about. Wow, dear. Let's try 5 across. Boots fit, needing 9 regularly. Okay. I don't know what this is. Do I? Yes, I do. I have got this one. At last, Maverick has just taken off. We're about to get some aeroplane noise buzzing past the window. I apologise about that. But, okay. So the part of the clue I honed in on here, or homed in on, I should say, is 9 regularly, which is making me... Well, which is indicating we need to take regularly occurring letters in the word 9, which might mean the odd-numbered letters or the even-numbered letters. So, is it going to be the odd-numbered letters? That's double N. Well, unlikely. Is it going to be I and E, the evenly occurring letters, positions 2 and 4? Well, it could be, if we can think of a boot that might end in IE, and then I thought of welly. Now, welly I would ordinarily spell like that, but I think it probably can be spelled like that. And fit, of course, means well, so I would go for welly there, as in a Wellington boot. And let's see if that's justified. 6 down. Perhaps meet 5 out of 17. Yeah, it's a lovely clue. Okay, so I say this every week, well, almost every week. There is almost always one of this type of clue in every Times crossword. And if there is one, there will be exactly one, because the rules that the setters are given for the Times crosswords do not allow them to put repeated or more than one hidden clue in a crossword. And what do I mean by a hidden clue? Well, I mean actually that the answer to this clue is just spelt out in the clue. Now, when we get a clue like that, there still has to be something in the words of the clue that tell you that the answer is hidden. The constructors just can't hide the answer in a clue and leave it. They have to tell you that it's a hidden clue. And the way it's done here is rather original. We have to take 5 out of 17. And what that's saying is take 5 letters out of the word 17. So it's not taking 5 out of the number 17, it's saying 5 letters out of the word 17. And if we take 5 consecutive letters out of the word 17, we could take event and perhaps meet. Well, a meet at a racecourse, I think, is an event, isn't it? That's certainly, I think it's fine. I mean, that's exactly how I understood the clue. So I think that's going to be event. And we no longer are going to find any hiddens. And if we find a hidden, I will be most put out. 7 down. Call which people hope to make with letters. Call which people hope to make. I don't know, for some reason it's making me think of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Call which people who hope to make with letters. Letters is a funny word in cryptic crossword words, because obviously we're dealing with letters. But a letter in a cryptic sense is somebody who might let out a building or let out a home. So it could be a lessor, I suppose. Call which people hope to make. I don't know. I haven't got a clue, to be honest. There's a tenant in this one. Lessee. Tenant without cover for expense. Renter, lessee, tenant without cover for expense. I don't know. I'm not sure what that is. The word without. Without's an interesting word in cryptic crosswords. No jokes about meeting me at parties and having a long discussion about the word without. And it's and how interesting I find it. No, it is interesting because tenant without cover could be saying find a word for a tenant and miss out a word that means cover from that word. But without can also mean surrounds. If something is without something else, it's on the outside of it. So it sort of has two quite different meanings depending on what the constructor requires it to mean. I know, I'm not getting that one. 8 down. Worry, eat. If you eat away at something, you worry it. Worry kings trapped by duty. Worry. Kings trapped by duty. Okay, I have got this one. Right. So again, remember, cryptic crossword constructors love to mislead you. That is almost their raison d'etre in life. So when we read this clue, we might think of King Charles, trapped by the worry of the duty that he has to perform for the country. Well, there is another meaning of duty, and that's in the sense of tax. Now, can we think of any words that mean tax that begin with E? What about the word excise? And then can we expand that somehow to be a word that means worry? And I think if something exercises your mind, it worries you. So I think exercise is the answer. So, and that means that king has to be ER here, which I think must be King Edward. Edward Rex. Now that's quite interesting because often Queen is ER for Elizabeth Regina. But I think it's okay. That's certainly what I would enter fairly confidently. Let's try 13 across. Able to live in many places using EU railway to choose mostly. To choose mostly makes me think of a word like elect, most of the word elect, which would suggest something ludicrous like that at the end. But I don't think there are any words that end like that. Able to live in many places. Polyglottic or something, I don't. Using EU railway. What's that? What's the Channel Tunnel thing? Euro Tunnel. That's a bit worrying. I'm worried that maybe this C is wrong because it just feels. I can't think about how that's going to work. Let's try 14 across. Crates preparing to take off with other holiday makers. Yeah, I mean that's interesting, isn't it? Because crates here, I think like an old aircraft is called a crate. You know, it's sort of a word for an old aeroplane that's sort of been going hither and thither for ages. Crates preparing to take off with other holiday makers. Preparing to take off, taxiing or something is what I want to see there. Crate. Oh, that can't be. This is tricky. This is really tricky. Let's try 16 down. Often, you know, this is the sort of down equivalent of 1 across, isn't it? Because you get so many checking letters. Counters scuba failing amid rising waters. Well, that feels like it must be an anagram of scuba. Amid an upside down word for waters. Now the only word I've thought of that is 3 letters, therefore, that means waters. I was wondering about S-E-A. Counters. I don't know. I'm not sure about that either. I mean, my most popular second letter for that would be B. So let's see if we can get. Oh, is bass cornet playing in this? Well, that must be an anagram of is bass cornet, which is 12 letters. So if the B was right, playing in this, you want it to be something like something. No, I thought it might be something concert, but no. Playing in this. Basic. I mean, could it be basic something? Perhaps. It's got a lot of S's in it, hasn't it? Basic. I don't know. I'm not sure about that either. Oh dear, this is going disastrously. Right, let's try 17 down. Pumice, perhaps, light, which forms moving blobs. Pumice, perhaps. It's like a rough stone, isn't it? Perhaps light, which forms moving blobs. I don't know. Gosh, this is great, isn't it? It's nice, not easy, I don't think. Let's try that one. Lock by only peer. Lock. What's that going to be? A piece of hair? Tress? I think that... Okay, what about buttress for that? If you say only in speech, you might say da-da-da-da-da, only, I wasn't sure about it. And that only there is doing the same duty as but, isn't it? So I quite like buttress. Now, I wouldn't normally think of buttress as a pier. Buttress is like a support. I suppose that could be a pier. It's probably right. Buttress there. And look at these checking letters. Absolute drivel. Let's try that one. Oh no, that's the one we just looked at. Let's try another long down one. One staying behind in person. One staying behind. It's like, I mean, the cryptic, the question mark there means this is a cryptic definition. So which means the answer is going to be something that supports one's bottom, is how I read it. The behind in a person. I don't know what that is. That's how I read the clue. Let's try 9 across. Disagreement. Heretic enters into versus church. Heretic. Oh, goodness me. Disagreement. Violence or something? I don't think it is that. I mean, verses can be V and church can be CE. So, I mean, I think it's going to be something like that. So we need a word for a heretic. Okay, Arian. I think Arian is a word for a heretic. And that would give variance, and if something is in disagreement it would be at variance with something, so I quite like variance for that. Now that gives me a V in one down. Does or does twist. Bolero often follows this. Bolero is by Ravel. Ravels. Bolero often follows this. Oh, well, I quite like that. Yeah. As in Ravel's Bolero. That's often how it's referred to, isn't it? Ravel's Bolero. And if something does twist, it ravels. That's lovely. That's very, very lovely. Okay. I love that because the way that the language, the constructor is playing with language there, it's playful. That's really very, very high quality clue writing. Rose got up to make deliveries which may be under arrangement. Rose bush? No, rose to make deliveries. Oh, bowl? Rose bowl? I quite like that. So got up rose to make deliveries is a cricket reference. It's to bowl rather than the number of deliveries, which might be over. So rose bowl, something which may be under an arrangement. Well, yeah, I think that's a flower arrangement that could be referring to. So that could be right. Now let's see if 3 down justifies that, which should be B or by, probably. Listen carefully to sounds of brooks babbling around middle of glen, LE. Listen carefully. Be all ears. Now, why? To sound... Oh, if you brook something, you bear it. Oh, hang on. Listen carefully to sounds of brooks around middle of glen. I mean, middle of glen must be LE, which must be that L and that E, I think. So sounds of brooks would have to be Belars. What? Oh, no, I've not understood this at all. Around middle of glen. I mean, this must be all. Listen carefully to sounds of brooks. I want that to be babbles. Around middle of glen. I'm so sorry that I can't understand this. Middle of... I don't know. Let's see if we can justify this local or something like that. Lapel, feature of jacket. Has lines cut by someone clumsy. Ape. An ape is somebody clumsy, and lines... line can be abbreviated to L. In fact, I actually think double L is an abbreviation for lines. Let's see if that's right. So let's... No, maybe... Oh, yeah, there it is. So double L, so that's absolutely correct. And let's try 2 down. One who's drafted isn't taking against longhand script or something. Conscript. Yeah, that's actually quite difficult. If I didn't have all the checking letters, I think I would have struggled with that. A conscript is somebody who's drafted into the army. And the conscript isn't taking a word that means against. Well, if you talk about the pros and cons of an argument, you'd be talking about the fors and against it. So the word con means against, and it's being removed from the word conscript to give script, which is longhand. That's very hard. And, well, be all... I mean, it must be all ears. Belars. I mean, if you bear something, I think you brook it. But that I could be wrong about that. And then the middle of the glen. How can the middle of glen not just be... Oh, valley. Oh, God, that's difficult. That's really difficult. Okay, so this is sort of an indirect... That's really difficult. So what it's saying is the middle of the word glen is not the middle of the word glen, it's the middle of a word that means glen. And if we think of the word valley and take the middle of that word, we get A-double-L-E. Now, that now works. A-double-L-E with bears around the outside for brooks. So, okay, so the definition is not listen carefully to, it's listen carefully to sounds, I think. And then to... Or maybe maybe when you bear something, is it a different spelling of brook? I don't think so, but I could be wrong. I mean, certainly this is now. I'm absolutely convinced this is right and justified. And I'm not changing it. So why don't we look at brook? Small stream. That's obviously. Yeah, to bear. So I am right. So I think the definition is listen carefully to sounds. And then 4 down. One staying behind in person. All we've got to do is think of a word that fits here, because it'll be right. Wicker. Wicker basket. I don't think wicker basket is all one word. One staying behind in person. Oh, come on, you silly man. Why can't I just write that in? I don't know. I don't know what it is. No, my brain is being recalcitrant today. It's not telling me what this is, which is infuriating, because that would be, well, would it be useful? We get the start of 13 across. If it was wicker, that would be an E. Able to live in many places using EU railway to choose mostly. Able to live in many places using EU railway. I don't know, I want it to be something like eclectic, but I mean that's just not quite right. Right, so this is a problem now, because I think we're going to have to work from the down clues up into this top right area of the grid. Let's try 15 down. Church musician upset his rector. Okay, well that's going to be an anagram of his rector. We have to upset those letters in order to get a church musician. Chorister. Yeah, that's going to be right. Okay. Now, that gives us a C in this one. Oh, this is our aeroplanes. Crates preparing to take off with other holiday makers. Crates preparing to take off with other holiday makers. I don't really even know. I'm not sure I know what the definition is in this one. Let's try that one. 23 across. Girls' wrath or wrath and anger oddly vanishing. I mean, anger oddly vanishing. Oh, it's Irene. Okay, so it's a word for wrath or wrath, and that's ire. And then we remove the oddly numbered letters of the word anger, so the letters in positions 1, 3 and 5, and we're left with the N and the E in the evenly numbered positions 2 and 4. And we get Irene, which is a girl's name. And look at these checking letters, absolutely useless. Took food back to consume best. Took food back, that must be a word like ate reversed. To consume best. No, okay. Yeah, it's another tricky clue. So the way I've solved this actually is by forcing myself to think about what the definition is. And took food back seemed to me to be, I needed to think of a phrase or a word that meant took food, and I needed to return it. So that suggested the other side of the clue was going to be the definition. Now, that means we're probably looking for a word that means best, 6 letters. Now, best is tricky, because if you're the best, you could be elite or something like that. But if you best somebody, you defeat them. And that's enough. That's going to be the answer, because that's got... So what we've actually got is fed, took food, reversed, followed by to consume, to eat, and that gives us defeat. Sorry, Maverick seems to be circling my house. Let's try 20 down. Recycled rubbish female has left daughter. Recycled rubbish. Debris? Female has left daughter. I don't know. I'm going to put debris. Oh no, hang on. Debris is obviously wrong. For some reason I thought it fitted. That's really disturbed me. Okay, so what is this then? Recycled. Oh, No, I thought it might be an anagram of rubbish without a F, but there's no F in the word rubbish, and there's no E as well. I need an E in my answer. Recycled. Rubbish female has left. I mean, daughter is so often D in these puzzles, and it's at the end of the word, and there's nothing here suggesting that the position of daughter should be removed or changed, so it does suggest that this is probably a D. So can we justify this as a past tense? During interval, half of cast, note, needed a drink, thirsted would fit. Let's put that in and see if that's justified. So during interval, half of cast, note. A third is an interval, isn't it, in music? Half of cast is ST, i.e. the second half of the word cast. A musical note is an E. That's really tricky. And needed a drink, thirsted. Right, so this D is the D of daughter, which means the other side of the clue is the definition, which means we're looking for a word that means recycled or recycled rubbish. Reused? Refuse, yeah. Okay, so we've got rubbish, refuse, that female, which can be F, has left. And again, if we can't just say, okay, the word female can be abbreviated to F. It can only be abbreviated to F if the dictionary supports it. And the dictionary should support it. I don't know if it's female. There we go. So it gives a lowercase f, and that's good enough. So reused is the answer. Have we looked at this clue? No. Magnetic problem with recording north, upright up the pole. What? Magnetic problem. Magnetic. Maybe it just means magnetic, actually. Problem with recording north. Upright up the pole. What? There's a lot going on in that, and I haven't got a clue what to do with that, to be honest. Let's see if we can pick off. Have we looked at that one? Yeah, we looked at that one. We looked at that one. We know that's an anagram. I just couldn't solve it yet. Is bass cornet playing in this? Don't know. Let's try that one. After noise of display, very loudly. That's probably double F from musical scores. So again, if we look up double F here, we should find fortissimo, which of course is a word which means as loud, well, very loudly. So, after noise of display, very loudly, regret backing, driver. Okay, I have got this. So we're looking for a word that means driver here, and it's probably got double F in it. And you're probably thinking of chauffeur. I think that's right, isn't it? After noise of display, if you show something someone, you display it, and show there would be spelt S-H-O-W. Now, homophones come into cryptic crosswords a lot, so words that sound like other words but are spelt differently. And show here, in the word chauffeur, sounds exactly like S-H-O-W. So after the noise of the word display, after a word that sounds like show, which we can put double F for very loudly, and then if you regret something, you rue it, and that's reversed. That gives us chauffeur, which, so that one. Pumice, ending in A. Pumice, perhaps, light, which forms moving blobs. I don't know what that means. Let's try that one then. 22. Peel off fine red pigment. To peel off is to... I don't know, I thought of the word flay, which I don't like. And a red I don't know, red pigment. I mean, is there any more terrifying two-word phrase than red pigment? Any sort of pigment. There are so many strange words for pigments. So it probably means peel off. F can be fine. And then a 4-letter red pigment is what I'm thinking, but I don't know it. So we're going to have to try and get these cold, I think, with no checking letters. Medicine man, doctor, using fake article. Okay, I have got this. I mean, the way I got it was I was thinking of article. What could that be? Now, if we see article in a cryptic crossword, it normally means definite article like the, or the indefinite article a. Now, a form of the indefinite article would be an. So, could this end in an? Medicine man. And I thought of shaman. And a sham is a fake. So that looks very good there. Now, let's try this one. Higher following small meal. Okay, well that is the first easy clue we've had. If something is higher than something else, it's upper. S can be small, as in something you might see on a t-shirt label. And that gives supper, which of course is a type of meal. So what is this then? Peel off. Flake. Red pigment, is that lake? Wow. That rings the vaguest bell with me. I'll put that in, I'm not sure. I'm going to let my brain percolate a bit about that. That does not feel very close to the top of my, sometimes when you see a word that you've seen before, it sort of triggers something in your brain. You think, yes. Oh, that word could be through. Up the pole. Rough, that would end in. Oh, hang on. Magnetic problem with recording. Could that be the definition? And then north upright is being anagrammed. Because if that's, I think up the pole can mean mad, can't it? If you're driven up the pole, you're sort of sent crazy. That would allow, so something through would work there. So let's just put that in and see what the other letter. See what the other letters we're left with then. Let's put those in here. So we'd have an N left, a P, an R, an I, and a T. I think. Oh, goodness. Have I done that wrong then? Intro through. I've probably pulled out the wrong letters. Magnetic problem with recording. Nitro through. Oh, I don't know. So through might be wrong. I'm going to leave it in the hope of the checking letters helping me. Let's try. Oh, don't know. I'm going to try 16 down. Oh, okay. Oh, abacuses. Oh, goodness. I had all the right thoughts about that, just didn't see the anagram. Abacuses is the answer. I think one reason I might not have thought of that is that abaci is my normal way of thinking about the plural of abacus. I'm sure abaci is a valid... Oh, yeah, look at that, abaci. But also abacuses. So how does abacuses work? Well, it's exactly what we thought. It's an anagram of scuba. Inside... a reversal of C for waters, rising waters. Oh, so this isn't basic then. Oh, and it's ears. No, we justified be all ears. So, brass something is the answer. Brass section. Right, good. That's exactly where a bass cornet would be played, in the brass section of an orchestra. So what? Lava lamp. Yes. Pumice. Pumice stone is made of lava, volcanic lava, isn't it? And then a light is a lamp, and a lava lamp is one of those things that has moving blobs. Wow, it's not easy, is it? But we're slowly eking our way forwards in this. Now, what is going on here? One staying behind in person. I just have to think of anything here that fits. That might be easier said than done. Oh dear. What did it be? One staying behind. It's a funny word, I think. It's funny in the sense I can think of no... Oh, Wickhamist, I was just thinking then, but no, that's nonsense. I was trying to think of, is there another second letter that isn't a vowel? Wackford Squeers is... for some reason popping into my head. One staying behind in person. It's like a shooting... I want it to be something like a shooting stick. I don't know. Right, okay, let's... Well, this is bad, isn't it? Did we justify... No, we justified welly. I was fairly confident about welly. Is there anything else I'm not confident about that I've entered? Not really. So we've got this funny anagram. I think it's an anagram. So trip N, is that what we're left with here? Oh, hang on. Hang on, I've got P. I thought I had intro when I put it in before. That's nonsense. I've taken the wrong letters out. UGH, I should have NP RIT. NP RIT. Did I just miss print? Print through. Is that a thing? A magnetic problem with recording? A print through? Never heard of it. But at least it gives me an anagram that works. A print through. Maybe that's something. Doesn't look great in terms of checking letters. Taxiing still works here. What's this one? This is the one we're going to have to get, isn't it? Able to live in many places. If you're able to live in many places, you are well travelled, you're pliable, you're a chameleon, you're peripatetic, you're able to live in many places. Using EU railway to choose most... Oh, hang on. To choose could be to... I was thinking of elect. Why is it not pick? P-I-C-K. That would give us at least a reasonable ending. So, using EU railway. And maybe 2 is plain. That would give us... So, I mean, is it railway? Are we looking at this? I mean, is there... I mean, I don't think there is. I'm just going to show you. Is that a word? Euritopic. Or, I mean, European Commission rather than EU. Topic. Oh, that's rotten. I mean, because that's completely unchecked. Topic. I mean, I don't know. I mean, none of this feels... I mean, EU... Why is the word... Because... EU... Using EU railway. Then to choose mostly. To pick. Well, let's try and justify 7 down. Call which people hope to make with letters. Life peer. Last post. Yes, the last post is a sort of trumpet or bugle call, isn't it? And if you try, you hope to make with when you've got a letter and you're late with it, you want to make the last post. I.e. the last time the postman picks up the mail from the letterbox. So that's going to be right. Now, can we get this one then? Lessee. Tenant without cover for expense. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so without is less. If you said I was going to do this without something, you might say I was going to do it less than. You know, so less and without I think are synonymous. And then the cover for the word expense is the first and the last letter. So the double E. So that gives us lessee here. And we're left with 3 answers to get. Well, this might be an E, I think. I mean, what is this letter? And then we don't know this letter either. Crates. So what's this with other packing cases or something? Preparing to take off with other holiday makers. I mean, this is really tricky. Is it packing cases? Crates. Packing cases. Preparing to take off with other holiday makers. Sorry, I realise I've stopped talking. I'm trying to understand what on earth this could be. I mean, there are a lot of words that would fit here. I mean, costs and things like that. Casks. Crates and casks are probably synonymous. And if this was a K from packing cases, what on earth is going on there? Something keeper? One staying behind in person. So, I just can't see it. It's something keeper then, is it? Oh, and this rose bowl is wrong. Good bowl. No, to make deliveries. Which may be under arrangement. Variance isn't wrong. Definitely not. A rose bowl. I mean, if this is wrong, that's so weird. To make deliveries. Beginning with B, 4 letters. I don't know. I can't think of anything else. So that... And I think this is an E. I just don't know this word. Something like ecrytopic is what I think this is. Wicket keeper. Oh no. It's wicket keeper. That's absolutely abysmal that I couldn't see that, especially after I've been thinking about cricket. Wicket keeper. So I was a bit I've misled myself. Oh, what a brilliant clue! That's absolutely brilliant. That's a worldie. That is a worldie. That's a worldie for so many reasons. Right. So one, staying behind in person. Suggests somebody staying behind, doesn't it? I thought it was a cryptic definition. It is a cryptic definition, but I thought it was suggesting something that was supporting somebody's bottom, because it's staying, it's supporting their behind. It's not that. It's somebody who stays, as in somebody who is positioned behind the in person, the person who is in. Now, in cricket, if you're in, you are the batter. So the person who stays behind the in person, the person batting, is the wicket keeper. That's brilliant. That's quite brilliant. So I have to guess this. I just don't know what it is. I'm pretty sure that railway is RY. I can't think of another abbreviation for railway. L sometimes comes up, as in, is it Chicago that has an L? Let's have a look. I mean, it's not relevant for this, so we can look it up. An elevated railway road. It doesn't say, but obviously this hasn't got L in it after a word or an abbreviation for EU. Now, if this is, I see, it could just be URI topic. I mean, EC is a slightly older abbreviation for the EU Commission. I think it's still EC, but the EEC is an out-of-date abbreviation for the European Economic Community. So maybe it's just URI topic. And because it's such an odd word, it's almost like, I mean, is URI from Greek? I mean, Euripides. Able to live in many places. So it's either that or that. I mean, that looks ridiculous. This looks fairly ridiculous. I'm leaning towards this, but it could well be that. It's a guess, really. Cryo. I mean, cryo is normally to do with freezing, isn't it? It's not to do with living in many places. The thing is, I don't know if this is sort of a Greek prefix, what it means. I can obviously look in the dictionary, but that I view as cheating, so I don't want to do that until I've committed to an answer. But the K is definitely right here, so I think this must be packing cases. So I think this is a sort of cryptic definition as well, with crates being used as a verb here. Crates preparing to take off with other holiday makers is saying that, as you know, if you crate something, you pack it, don't you? So you're packing cases when you're preparing to go on holiday. So I think this is what I would submit, with a heavy degree of concern over this answer, a slight degree of concern over this answer. I think everything else I'm fairly confident about, but this is not an easy puzzle, and there's a lot of very interesting wordplay. So let's submit it without the leaderboard and keep our fingers crossed. And oh, Oh, well, that's just a typo. I don't mind that. Okay, so in terms of the actual solving, it was correct. So that means we can look up topic, and we should find able to survive in a wide range of environmental conditions, from the Greek euris, meaning wide, and topos, meaning place. I mean, fantastic. Anyone who watching this who just wrote that in, well played. That is very, very good knowledge. Now, oh gosh, I meant to check this one. I got lucky here. I don't think I would have changed flake for want of a better answer, but lake must be a red pigment then. A reddish pigment derived from lac, a coloured substance derived by combining a dye with a metallic hydroxide. Its colour, carmine. Wow. Okay, so that's good, isn't it? I don't like seeing those pink letters. Even when they're typos, they annoy me. It's a very good puzzle, this, with a worldie at 4 down. The only, I was slight. I think middle of Glen for Valley is very tricky. I liked one down as well. Does twist. Bolero often follows this. That's lovely. That's a lovely clue. So 1 down and 4 down are world-class clues. Which other ones did I really like? Let me have a look. Higher followings. No, that was fine. I mean, is bass cornet playing in this is very good. Appropriate anagram for brass section. That's very good. Yeah, it's a very fine puzzle. It really is. It's just difficult. I mean, I should have seen. I can't believe I couldn't see Wicket Keeper as a possible entry here for ages. But I do find that once my brain goes down the wrong track, wrenching it back to where it needs to be is sometimes harder than one might think. But I hope you enjoyed. No doubt you were shouting at me about that, and you've probably been shouting at me about print through. We must look up print through. That's another expression I've never heard. Print through. There it is. The degree to which matter printed on one side of paper is visible from the other side. Okay. In magnetic tape recordings, the transfer of a recording from one layer to another when the tape is wound on a spool. Good grief. Well, you live and learn, as they say. Let me know in the comments how you got on. We enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.